Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology, and today we're going to dive deep into 7 specific signs that you might be an attractive man without realizing it. This is actually an incredibly common phenomenon that I see regularly in my clinical practice, and it's genuinely unfortunate because it causes many men to underestimate their potential in relationships, pull away from romantic opportunities, or avoid dating altogether because they mistakenly believe they lack appeal. What makes this topic particularly fascinating from a research perspective is how much scientific evidence we have supporting these patterns. The research backing these observations is extensive and comes from peer-reviewed studies in social psychology, evolutionary psychology, and behavioral science. I'll be referencing specific studies throughout this discussion, and while I always include research citations for those who want to dig deeper, I understand that not everyone is comfortable reading academic papers. As a doctoral student who literally reads research papers every single day, I recognize that the technical language and statistical analyses can be overwhelming for those who aren't immersed in academic literature daily. The key thing to remember is that attraction is highly individual and contextual. This guide represents general patterns observed across populations, but it doesn't mean that lacking these signs makes you unattractive, nor does it mean that having them guarantees universal appeal. These are simply indicators that many attractive men experience, but often misinterpret or dismiss entirely. Understanding the psychology of unrecognized attractiveness. Before we explore the specific signs, it's crucial to understand why so many men remain completely oblivious to their own attractiveness. Our society conditions men differently than women when it comes to appearance and social feedback. Men are often taught to focus on achievement, competence, and practical matters, rather than physical appeal or social magnetism. Additionally, acknowledging one's own attractiveness can be socially risky for men, as it might be perceived as arrogance or vanity. This creates a fascinating psychological blind spot where men experience the world differently due to their attractiveness, but attribute these differences to coincidence, luck, or other factors. They're living inside the experience of being attractive without recognizing the pattern, which can lead to confusion, missed opportunities, and unnecessary self-doubt. Sign 1. You're consistently the target of male jealousy and competition. The very first sign, and perhaps the most misunderstood, is that you regularly find yourself the target of jealousy, envy, or competitive behavior from other men. This is something I observe frequently in my practice, and most men who experience it have no idea what it actually signifies about their attractiveness. Research conducted in 2009 provided compelling evidence that attractive men are significantly more likely to be perceived as rivals by other men, particularly in contexts that involve potential romantic competition. This creates a challenging social dynamic where forming friendships with other men becomes more difficult, not because of any personality flaw or social inadequacy, but because of unconscious biological and psychological responses. This jealousy and competition manifests in various ways that can be quite subtle. You might notice other men making disparaging comments about your appearance, achievements, or personality. They might exclude you from social groups, interrupt you during conversations, or attempt to undermine your confidence in public settings. Sometimes it's more overt, involving direct confrontation, aggressive behavior, or attempts to embarrass you in front of others, particularly when women are present. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, this makes perfect sense. Attractive males throughout human history have represented direct competition for limited reproductive resources. While we've obviously evolved beyond our prehistoric ancestors, these deeply ingrained psychological responses remain active in our subconscious minds. Other men may feel threatened by your presence without fully understanding why, leading to behaviors aimed at diminishing your social status or appeal. The crucial realization is that this behavior says nothing negative about you personally. Instead of internalizing these attacks on your self-worth or wondering what you've done wrong, recognize that this pattern often stems from others' insecurities and their unconscious perception of you as competition. This reframe can help you maintain confidence while navigating these challenging social dynamics more effectively. Sign 2. People readily share personal information with you. Another powerful yet frequently overlooked indicator of attractiveness is the tendency for people, especially women, to disclose personal information to you more readily than they might with others. Research from 2008 demonstrated that people are significantly more likely to share intimate details about their lives with individuals they find physically appealing. This phenomenon occurs because physical attractiveness triggers what psychologists call the halo effect, a cognitive bias where positive qualities in one area, physical appearance, lead people to seeing positive qualities in other areas, trustworthiness, kindness, competence. When someone finds you attractive, they unconsciously associate you with positive characteristics, creating an environment where they feel safer opening up about personal struggles, intimate thoughts, and private experiences. You might notice that women share details about their relationships, family problems, career concerns, childhood experiences, or personal fears with you, sometimes even when you're relative strangers. This could happen in workplace conversations where colleagues confide their frustrations, at social gatherings where acquaintances share personal stories, or even during brief encounters with strangers who feel compelled to open up about their lives. This isn't necessarily romantic interest, though it can be a precursor to it. Rather, it's an unconscious response to the safety and appeal they perceive in you. The research shows that this increased disclosure happens because attractive individuals are viewed as more empathetic, more trustworthy, and more capable of understanding and providing support. Understanding this pattern can help you recognize your own appeal while also handling these disclosures appropriately. When people trust you with their personal information, regardless of the psychological mechanism behind it, it represents a significant responsibility that should be treated with respect and confidentiality. Sign 3. Others display notably relaxed and friendly behavior around you. Closely related to increased personal disclosure is the tendency for people to behave more relaxed, friendly, and comfortable in your presence. The same body of research that documented increased personal sharing also found that individuals act more at ease around people they find attractive. This relaxed demeanor manifests in numerous ways that you might have noticed but never connected to your attractiveness. People laugh more easily at your jokes, engage in more casual conversation, show reduced social anxiety, and demonstrate increased willingness to participate in activities or discussions. Women might approach you for help or protection in uncomfortable situations, viewing you as a safe harbor in challenging social environments. They might actively seek your opinion on important matters or include you in conversations and activities more readily than they do with others. This phenomenon extends well beyond romantic contexts. In professional settings, attractive individuals often find that colleagues are more collaborative, supervisors are more approachable, and networking opportunities arise more naturally. People simply enjoy being around those they find appealing, leading to more positive social interactions across all areas of life. The research suggests this happens because attractive individuals are perceived as more socially skilled, more pleasant to interact with, and more likely to provide positive social experiences. This creates a feedback loop where people approach you with positive expectations, leading to more successful interactions, which reinforces their positive perception of you. It's important to note that individual personality traits can override these attraction-based responses. People with avoidant attachment styles, severe social anxiety, or other psychological factors might not display these behaviors regardless of attraction. However, if you consistently notice that people seem unusually comfortable and friendly around you across different contexts and relationships, it's likely an indication of your attractiveness rather than mere coincidence. Sign 4. People demonstrate enhanced memory for details about you. One of the most surprising and scientifically fascinating indicators of attractiveness is others' enhanced ability to remember details about you. Research from 2003 provided compelling evidence that people literally devote more attention and memory resources to individuals they perceive as having attractive faces. This means that when you're attractive, your words, actions, preferences, and characteristics are more likely to be encoded in others' memories and recalled accurately even weeks or months later. You might notice that people remember conversations you've had, details about your interests, specific opinions you've expressed, or personal anecdotes you shared with surprising accuracy and detail. This enhanced memory effect occurs because attractive faces trigger increased neural activity in areas of the brain associated with attention and memory formation. When someone finds you attractive, their brain literally works harder to process and store information about you, leading to better recall and increased significance placed on your words and actions. This phenomenon extends into professional contexts as well. In job interviews, hiring managers are more likely to remember attractive candidates' responses, take their answers more seriously, and recall specific details from their interactions. In academic settings, teachers might remember attractive students' contributions to class discussions more clearly. In social situations, acquaintances might bring up specific details from previous interactions that you assumed were forgotten or considered unimportant. The implications of this are significant. It means that attractive individuals have a natural advantage in making lasting impressions, building relationships, and being remembered positively in various contexts. If you find that people frequently reference things you've said or done in the past with remarkable accuracy, it's likely because your attractiveness has made those memories more salient and easier to retrieve. Sign 5. You receive consistent eye contact and visual attention. One of the most direct and measurable indicators of attractiveness is receiving sustained eye contact and visual attention from others. Extensive research consistently demonstrates that attractive individuals receive more substantial and frequent eye contact from others, both during direct interactions and as passive observers in social situations. This visual attention manifests in several distinct ways. During conversations, people maintain eye contact with you longer and more consistently. In group settings, you might notice that people frequently look in your direction, even when you're not speaking. In public spaces, strangers might steal glances at you when they think you're not looking, quickly averting their gaze when you catch them. Eye contact serves as one of the most powerful nonverbal indicators of interest and attraction. When someone maintains extended eye contact during conversation, it signals engagement, trust, and often romantic or social interest. Similarly, when people consistently look in your direction in group settings or public spaces, it indicates that something about you draws their visual attention in a way that feels rewarding or pleasant to them. This phenomenon occurs because humans are naturally drawn to look at things they find appealing or aesthetically pleasing. Attractive faces and figures command attention in the same way that beautiful art, stunning landscapes, or other visually appealing stimuli do. They activate reward centers in the brain that make the viewing experience inherently pleasant. The research also shows that this increased visual attention often occurs unconsciously. People might not even realize they're looking at attractive individuals more frequently. It happens automatically as part of our brain's reward-seeking behavior. If you consistently notice people making eye contact with you, looking in your direction, or seeming to visually track you in social situations, it's a strong scientific indicator that others find you visually appealing. Sign 6. You experience positive differential treatment in various contexts. Another significant but often unrecognized sign of attractiveness is experiencing consistently better treatment across different social, professional, and service contexts. This phenomenon, extensively documented in social psychology research, demonstrates that attractive individuals receive preferential treatment in numerous situations, often without anyone involved consciously recognizing what's happening. This differential treatment manifests in countless ways throughout daily life. In retail settings, salespeople might be more attentive, helpful, and willing to go the extra mile for you. In restaurants, servers might provide better service, remember your preferences, or engage in more friendly conversation. In professional environments, colleagues might be more collaborative, managers more supportive, and networking opportunities more readily available. The research shows that this preferential treatment stems from unconscious biases associated with physical attractiveness. Attractive individuals are perceived as more competent, more trustworthy, more intelligent, and more deserving of positive treatment. This creates a social advantage that compounds over time, leading to better outcomes in career advancement, social relationships, and general life satisfaction. You might notice that bureaucratic processes seem to go more smoothly for you, that people are more willing to bend rules or make exceptions, or that you receive unsolicited help or assistance more frequently than seems normal. Customer service representatives might be more patient and helpful, authority figures more lenient and understanding, and service providers more accommodating. This pattern can be particularly noticeable when you observe the treatment that friends or colleagues receive in similar situations. If you consistently seem to have easier, more pleasant interactions across various service industries and professional contexts, it's likely because your attractiveness is unconsciously influencing how others respond to you. Understanding these 7 signs serves multiple important purposes beyond simple validation or ego enhancement. First, and most importantly, recognizing your attractiveness can dramatically improve your confidence in social and romantic situations. Many men avoid pursuing relationships, miss romantic opportunities, or settle for less fulfilling connections because they fundamentally underestimate their own appeal and potential. Second, understanding why certain social dynamics occur can prevent you from misinterpreting others' behavior or attributing positive treatment to factors other than your attractiveness. When you recognize that jealousy from other men stems from perceived competition rather than personal failings, you can maintain self-esteem while navigating these challenges. When you understand that increased friendliness and disclosure from women might indicate attraction, you can better recognize romantic opportunities and respond appropriately. Finally, awareness of your attractiveness helps you handle the accompanying social responsibilities more effectively. When people trust you with personal information, seek your company, or treat you preferentially, understanding the psychological mechanisms behind these behaviors enables you to respond ethically and thoughtfully. Remember that attractiveness encompasses far more than just physical appearance. It includes charisma, confidence, emotional intelligence, and social presence. The signs discussed here represent common patterns that attractive men experience but often misunderstand or dismiss. By recognizing these indicators in your own life, you can develop more accurate self-perception and approach relationships and social situations with appropriate confidence and understanding. This recognition isn't about developing vanity or an inflated ego. It's about building accurate self-awareness that enhances your ability to form meaningful connections, pursue opportunities with confidence, and navigate social situations more effectively. Understanding your own appeal allows you to make better decisions about relationships, career opportunities, and social interactions, ultimately contributing to a more fulfilling and successful life.